my Facebook, so follow me on Facebook, guys, if you want. Hana Miyamoto. I'm easy to find on Facebook. I was struck by how unified the state of California is getting. Gavin Newsom, the mayor of San Francisco, people, the former mayor of San Francisco and lieutenant governor of the state of California, the man who pretty much against the law, pretty much on his own say-so, conducted same-sex marriages in San Francisco years before it was actually legal to do so. I mean, this is the liberal's liberal, and he did very well in California. He won counties like Mendocino. Humboldt is extreme northwest California. It's on the coast of California, but it's still extreme northwest California. He won Nevada County, which is outside the county of where Sacramento is. He won the counties by Lakes Tahoe, Mono, and Alpine. And the only area of California he really didn't do well in was the 4 or 5 counties in the very northeast corner of California. Ironically, the ones that are burning down, like Shasta, but also Modoc and counties like that. The Cox won like 70% of the vote in places like Modoc County. But elsewhere, Newsom won either a strong majority or split. All over the whole state of California. And, of course, that election was called for Newsom, at least by NBC, which I watched literally minutes after the polls closed because Cox was so wiped out. And they could tell that he was never going to use that, no chance at all. So, once again, I think we're really showing that people who want to say that California is divided really don't have any argument because this state is more unified. There's no doubt that this state is more unified politically, and I would emphasize the values, right? It's not just because we like our representative. It's that we like their values. Their values mean something to us, and they represent our values, and those values are becoming very unified everywhere. I love the fact that in California, you went up to Humboldt County. I don't imagine you can get fantastic burritos and things, but, like where I live in Southern California. But up there, they think of themselves as Californians just as passionately as I do. Now, you know what I mean? We are a really, truly one united republic. And that's really glorious about us.
We really are. And let me ask you this, Hannah. Do you think that any of the people, or many of them, or what percentage of them do you think are saying that California is divided? What percentage of those people saying that do you think are saying that in order to get us divided, in order to create divisiveness?
Well, I see what you're saying, and obviously the Republican Party really knows it's in real trouble in California. Well, I just talked about how in 3 districts they couldn't even get a candidate on the congressional ballot. That I think that you're right. I mean, I think maybe the interesting case was Diane Harkey, who was the challenger against Mike Levin. And she ran a very, she got beat by around 5%. Very good. This district is switching. There's no doubt it's flipping. But during the campaign, Harkey criticized California values themselves, or whatever they were. I'm trying to think what was the exact comment, but I guess I don't know. I can say that I think you're absolutely right. I wonder though if this is something we should also point out is I think I'm looking at the exit polls right now that CNN took. They're online, and anyone's interested in politics and really wants to know where the country is headed. I urge them to go look at the exit polls. Exit polls are, of course, taken of voters as they leave the polling place, and the people who run them explicitly try to get a representative group. They go to the districts which tend to be which they try to be representative. So they try to do their best to select the right precincts to go in and actually poll people. I would say that, again, your pundit thing, maybe not pointing this out very clearly, 2018 shows to me two incredible, important facts. Number one, the Democratic Party message worked. It persuaded voters. It fit what voters cared about the most. Specifically, this was the healthcare election. There's no doubt about it. Believe it or not, gun control was the fourth most important issue that voters recognized as important. It was below the economy. But I was surprised to see that gun control is very important. And by the way, of those people who thought gun control was important, they voted overwhelmingly for Democrats. The exit polls I'm looking at particularly were for House elections. So they basically said, hi, which candidate did you vote for? And apparently they only chose districts where there was, I'm sorry, I got off a little bit off the subject there. What I'm trying to say is when you look at these polls, you got to remember that California has so decisively swung blue. And it's such a large amount of the population, 12% of the American population. Which, remember, that means roughly one out of 8 Americans is a Californian. Even though we think of it as one of the 50 states. You see what I'm trying to say here? It's like 6 times more than the average. I guess it's something like 6 times. I guess it's roughly right. So when you look at the numbers, it's everything is sort of twisted. Like for instance, in the electorate, for instance, we know that 11% of the vote was from Latinos. But 1 out of 3 Latinos is a Californian. So you have to figure that outside of California, well, we don't know. I think the percentage of Asians also was high. So should I run down some of these numbers? I thought, number one, I think there's no doubt the biggest factor in what the results that people saw was gender. Among men, they were 4% of them. It went 51-47. You had a 4% gap. That swung the Republican Party. Okay. With women, it was 19%. Were voting for 19% more women voted for Democrat candidate for House. That's 59-49, and anyone will tell you can't win with those kind of numbers. There's no doubt that but for the gerrymandering, the Democrats would have broken the 1974 record. It looks like about 37 seats are going to swing compared to the 44 in 1974, but I'm sure that if there weren't gerrymandering, it would be, 50. It would just be outrageous. Another fact, another one I think was important that not people are remembering, 35% of the electorate was under 45 years old. Even on my 18 to 29-year-olds, 13% of the votes came from 18 to 29-year-olds. That group, by the way, went 67% Democratic.
Wow.
That's 2 to 1. Overall, 61% voted Democratic if you were under 45 years old. And then above the 45-year-olds, it's literally split even. 49% Democrat, 50% Republican.
Wow.
Another one, as I said, 70% among whites. Republicans won only 10% more votes. African Americans, 90% went Democratic. 69% Latinos went Democratic. 77% Asians went Democratic.
Mm-hmm.
Another factor was education. Unlike in 2016, those people with high school educations or less were only 3% more likely to vote for Republican.
Wow.
Among those with a bachelor's degree, 12% more likely to voted for 12% more voted likely to vote for a Democratic candidate for House. And among those with advanced degrees, like yours truly, 31%.
Wow.
They went 65% to 34%.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's still, by the way, 17% of the total vote had advanced degrees in this country.
You know, I remember somewhere along the way when Trump was just starting to consider running, he said something about, you know, if I were going to run, I would run as a Republican because those people are stupid enough to vote for anyone. That was kind of the general idea.
Yeah, and while I would not say that maybe you don't have, just because you didn't graduate, just because you didn't go to college means that you're quote-unquote stupid.
Right, that's true.
But there's no doubt that those, and I guess I'll say it this way, those people must have wised up.
Right.
Because they were just a sliver more likely to vote for Republicans than vote for Democrats in this election. And again, another one, income. Among people earning $100,000, the line was, believe it or not, $100,000. The only economic group that voted Republican was people over $100,000, and even they were very closely split. Overall, under $100,000, that's 2/3 the electorate, 14% more likely to vote for Democrats. Those over $100,000, 5% more likely to vote Republican. So again, a lot of well-off people in America voted for Democrats. They obviously are looking for stability, and that is truly what Donald Trump has threatened, is the social stability of our country. Oh, another one, party ID. We all know that Democrats can vote for Democrats, Republicans vote for Republicans, but independents, 12% more likely to vote for Democrats. Again, I looked at gender. Both men and women independents were more likely to vote Democrat. For independent men, 7% was the margin. For independent women, 17% was the margin. Remember, I just got through saying that 19% was the margin for women overall? And that's 17%. Another one I thought was interesting. Moderates. We all know liberals are going to vote Democratic, right? And of course, 91% voted Democratic for House. Obviously, maybe they had some liberal Republican in their district they liked better. Who knows? 37% of the voters said they were moderates, and they voted 62% Democratic.
I have to correct myself here. I'm finding better information now. I went into a fact-checking site online, and it says that meme is with that quote that he would run for president as a Republican because, quote, they're the dumbest group of voters in the country. That he never said that, apparently.
No, but there's other people like that. I remember Mitt Romney with his 47% comment. And maybe I should point out that Trump routinely attacks people on two things, which are really offensive. One is so-called intelligence or stupidity or smartness or whatever. And the other, of course, is appearance, physical appearance.
Right.
And I think that you just have to assume that he must have enormous insecurities. He oftentimes says things like, I'm really smart, or he talks about graduating from Wharton University or whatever. I don't know any Obama's, he never mentioned the fact that he graduated from Harvard.
Right.
And because he's not someone who feels insecure enough to have to go mention that all the time.